Hello, hello, and here we are at another Natter That Matters. And today I have the wonderful Steph Beeston Clarke. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Nice. Look at you in your backdrop, putting me to shame. Look at you with all of it and all your zeros and your ACCAs and what you do and your subscription pages and all sorts. Yes, good for you. So yeah, I've invited Steph here to have a chat with me because she does an amazing job with charities. And as you know, I have my She Enjoys Life Foundation, and I'm going to help women to start up not-for-profits and ICOs and charities, etc. And of course, the money side and the accounting side and the setup side is a bit of a pig, isn't it, really?
It can be if you haven't got the right support.
Yes, we've got the right support or the skills, which is what you've got. So tell us exactly what you do, who you do it for, and how you got into this, Steph. Let's understand a bit about your business.
Okay, well, I am a qualified accountant. I have been an accountant for 26 years, and right back at the beginning, I started working with charities, and throughout all that time, I've worked with charities, and I just love working with them. I'm very passionate about figures and about bookkeeping and payroll and the stuff that people usually don't like to do. I actually love it. And a couple of years ago, I thought, you know what, I'm going to make my business to work for those people who their heart is in doing what they've been gifted to do, and that's serving people. And I've been gifted to be able to do the figures side, so I can help them to help the people they serve.
Lovely. And yeah, and it's a big worry actually. I know, having started the foundation, oh my God, the rigmarole, the red tape, in fact, so much so I didn't set it up in a charity in the end. They told me it was going to take 32 weeks. I was like, no, anybody that knows me knows I'm not waiting 32 weeks for anything. 32 hours, I get a bit stressed on waiting for things. So no, had to find a different way. So as long as I had charitable intentions and I created lots of statements, I could set it up differently. But yeah, there are lots of stuff to do, isn't there? And I know that all the procedures are different as well. They're not like a normal limited company or
no, they have to follow all the normal accounting rules, but on top of that there's something called a statement of recommended practice, SORP, that you have to follow on top of that. So yeah, it can be quite complicated and very daunting.
Yeah. Do you help people sort that out? How do they? Yeah. So if there's anybody watching or listening to this, or enjoying this in any way, and they're thinking of starting something to give back, which is kind of how it starts, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got the passion or the drive, but then like they don't know where to start. Hence why I started my foundation, to help them with the business side. And I know that you signed up to be a patron of that, so thank you very much to help those. So where do people start? So say I was about to start. In fact, I wish I'd met you when I first started having the idea, because you'd have saved me a lot of time and hassle. So what should they do when they decide they want to do something about whatever their idea is?
There are two things they need to do. One is speak to me, obviously.
You'll drop all your links and things so people can get hold of you. Yeah.
Yes, because there are different types of charity. There are different vehicles you can use for that.
Yeah.
There's limited by guarantee, there's community interest companies, there's charitable incorporated organisations. There's just a great big whole list of different ways you could be a charity.
Yeah.
Some people say they're a charity and they're not, but they have charitable intentions. So there's all sorts of, and we need to make sure that the vehicle you've got is the right one for you.
Yes. That was the biggest decision for me, Steph. Because when somebody said, if you have a charity, not only does it take 32 weeks, all of the people within your charity, they make all the core decisions with you. I'm like, oh my God, can you imagine all those stakeholders? That would take me years to get anything through. Like, no, I need to be able to make decisions quickly and help people quickly. So it very clearly became that a charity wasn't the right thing for me, most definitely. So yeah, getting it the right thing is really important.
Absolutely. And making sure at the beginning that you've got the right vehicle as well.
Yeah.
Rather than doing something and then having to change it, because it becomes quite difficult to change something once you've got it set up. So that would be the first port of call. Once you've decided which vehicle you're going to use, you need to figure out where you're going to get your funding from, and then how you're going to account for that funding. Because a normal business has money coming in and money going out. They can do what they like with that money. When you're a charity, sometimes you can do what you like with that money, and sometimes you can't. People give what we call restricted funds. So I give some money to a charity and I say, you can spend that on whatever you like. That's unrestricted. But if I give them some money and I say, you have got to spend this money on A, B, and C, and I want you to report back to me how you've spent that money, then they have to do that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that smaller charities find really difficult is that they don't have huge incomes, but they could have quite a lot of different funding sources, all of which might need reports back on. So it's quite, there's a lot of manual work in keeping track of those if you're doing it on paper or if you're doing it on Excel. This is one of the reasons why I set up Charity Chatter on Money Matters.
Ah, yes.
Hence the background.
What is that? What is that?
So Charity Chatter on Money Matters is a monthly Zoom call, so just like we're talking now, but with hopefully a few people in the room. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask that they're going to be able to ask those questions that they might have about their charity finances or their governance or their systems and procedures when it comes to finances and around the charity in general. We can share best practice. We can just basically become a community of small charities.
Sorry. Well, you are quite short, apparently.
Well, yes.
But I'm not exactly tall at 5'3" and a bit. So.
I'm about 4 inches shorter than that, so yeah.
I love that I'm tall compared to you. That's the first.
I get used to it. So yeah, smaller charities, very often they have their bookkeepers a volunteer. They're not financially trained. They don't know where to ask these questions without it costing money.
Yeah.
And they haven't got that money to spend. So that's the theory behind Charity Chatter, is the fact that they've got somewhere to go. They can ask those questions. If it's an area that I'm not a specialist in, like fundraising is not one of my specialisms, I have contacts and connections with people who can come in and talk about that. Yeah. So the first one, on the 1st of July, I have a lady specifically coming to talk to us about fundraising in the current climate. And that's what I'm hoping to do, is to get people on board to help each other out, basically.
I think that's great, Steph. I'm really, really pleased you're doing that, because I don't think anybody else is doing anything like that. You know, I think a lot of people are in, you know, there's lots of groups to make money and all sorts of stuff, but to actually just to support, and because there is a lot, it's a big involvement, isn't it? And there is a struggle, especially at the moment with, you know, we've heard even the London Marathon and all, you know, the big charities are really struggling, let alone the smaller charities. So I know that you work with charities up to a certain level, don't you?
Yes, it's up to £1 million usually. So if they have an audit, then generally they're not the charities that I work with. I work with those under £1 million. Well, I mean, to me, £1 million is a lot of money.
Yeah, I think so. Shouldn't mind in my back pocket, not going to lie.
But once you start getting up to that level, they tend to have that financial expertise within the organisation. But for charities that are working up towards those levels, they very often don't have anybody that can just ask what they might see as a daft question. And they may have somebody who comes in and does their year-end independent review things, which I do as well, but they have somebody that comes in and do that, but they tend to be, you go in once a year, then they don't tend to be that person you just think, I've got that question and I don't know who to ask. Yeah. And that's what I want this to fill that gap.
I can ask Super Steph. That just came into my head. I feel like you with the S on the front. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Isn't it? And you're going to run those. Yeah. Okay. You're going to run those monthly as well, aren't you?
I am. Yes. They're going to be on the first Wednesday of every month from 4 till 5.
Lovely. No, nice as well. Oh, that's good. Definitely drop the links in, because there's probably quite a lot of people watching this who have thought about, I mean, I suppose if someone's thinking of starting a charity, they can come to that as well, because they can get some information and either be put off by it completely or just think, oh, actually, it's not quite as tricky, or I definitely want to do it. So that's great stuff. Yeah. And so, you know, what's your dream for your business? You know, where are you going? Where are you going with it all?
My dream is to help as many small charities as I can in whatever way I can.
Could that become a charity? Could your business be a charity?
It could, yes. That is
just saying.
I'm thinking about that, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's in the thought process at the moment.
Yeah. How cool would that be?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Either
that
a
could be.
charity or a community interest company. There's a big
Yes,
difference between the two.
yeah,
A charity is one that generally gets their funding given to them, whereas a community interest company is generally a trading company.
yes,
So
yes,
that's one of the
yeah.
big differences. So it might be I go down that road, or I'm not sure yet where we're going with that. But what I want to do is build the team around me. I've already got certain key people in the team in place anyway, but building a team around me that have the same heart and ethos for our clients that I do. Because the most important thing for me is we care about the charities themselves, the people within it, and the numbers.
Yes.
Numbers comes at the end, actually. It's more important to me to have the right people and the right place with the right heart.
You're so right. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people that run charities, because they don't understand the kind of admin and the numbers, they kind of lose their passion a bit. Whereas really what you want is them on the front line of their passion and their drive and their kind of commitment and their front facing, of their business, rather than worrying about all that crap in the background, which you clearly are very good at and love doing. So there's always one, isn't there? It's like, there's always somebody that loves doing the stuff we hate, isn't it? So I think it's great. I think, I think we're going to spend a lot of time passing people backwards and forwards between maybe our charities. That's why I call mine a foundation, not charity, because it is the foundation of that. They, to build that foundation right, don't they? Otherwise, it won't. Well, they get themselves into a mess, don't they?
They do, and there's something very much important about getting it right first time. The amount of time and energy and effort you save by just spending a little bit of time and energy and effort at the beginning to get it right first time. Doesn't mean we can't put things right, but I like.
What's the most typical thing that they're not doing right in your experience so far?
I think with the smaller charities, one of the things that I wouldn't say not doing right, but not doing in as best way they can, is that there is a prescribed format of how to submit information to the Charity Commission.
Right.
It is a form. It doesn't necessarily give the users of that information any detail, any proper useful information. And one of the charities I've just worked with actually was a very small charity, but they had a lot of income sources. And we've just sorted them out onto Xero so that they haven't got to be following all those restricted funds manually. They can just press the button and the report comes out. And then when we come to do the year-end accounts, we can make it look nice, but also the people who actually go on and look at those accounts, it gives them useful information, not just a block of figures. And the prescribed template just is a block of figures, basically.
Yeah.
So, but what that helps them do as well is manage their charities day by day. It's not just for what you send into the Charity Commission. It's not just doing what you have to do to tick the box. It's doing what's right to help you move your charity forward and to serve what you want to serve.
Yes, good stuff. Fabulous. So have you got any tips you want to hand out to people that might be watching this as to, what they can do, or, apart from obviously join your charity? I think you've got a Facebook group as well, haven't you?
I have got a Facebook group, yes, that you can join.
Put the link in there.
Basically, I would suggest, if you are thinking about or you are running a small charity, just come and have a chat with me and we'll take it from there. Really, is just see how we can help you.
That's good. I think there needs to be somebody to do that, because somebody introduced me to somebody. Actually, it was a really weird way that this person arrived, and she was very kind. She kind of was on the phone to me for about half an hour, helping me understand it all. But it does change as well, doesn't it? They change all the rules quite a lot. I remember her saying, "This is my knowledge based on when I did X, Y, Z." So I still had to do quite a lot of research, and I'm not research isn't the thing I love. I love this. So I know that some people are really good at research and having that technical knowledge and detail. So I don't know, that's you, so thank you for that. And yes,
assistants asking me questions as well. We support each other within the accounting community.
Yes.
And I'm quite happy to be doing that. I'm quite happy to be just passing on information to people to help.
So accountants can join as well if they've got some people. Good, that's good. Yeah, because there'll be a few of these watching and listening. So yeah, that's good. Like sharing best best practice, new information, new ideas. Yeah, I run a coaching Facebook group for exactly that, for coaches to come. So we're sharing tips and ideas and things. So, you know, we're not all in competition, are we? That's the whole point, really. So no, that's great stuff. Oh, it's been lovely to find out a bit more about what you're doing. And I'm really, really happy you're doing your charity chatter. I'm definitely coming to the one in July, and probably each month, depending on availability for all of us. And so if we join the group, will we be able to kind of ask you questions in there as well? We can kind of just, yeah, you'll be in there. And
yeah, what I'm hoping for the Facebook group is for it to become a community of people supporting each other, and me supporting them, or finding the right people to support them if it's not me.
Sounds perfect. Facebook will be happy with you. That's exactly their idea of community Facebook groups. So that's perfect. Good stuff. And it's free. It's all free, completely free.
All free.
Everything's free. The charity chatter is free. The Facebook, lovely. It's you giving back, really. So, which of course you would do, because of course that's your charitable aim anyway, isn't it? So of course you would do that. Sits perfectly. Well, it's been lovely to talk to you, Steph. Thanks for coming into the Zoom room and having a chat to the matters. And good luck with your charity chatter. I know that's the first one you're doing, and I'm sure you're going to help a lot of people. I, for one, am very grateful there are people like you that want to help people like me and the rest of us that want to give back, because we do. There's a lot of people that do, and I think this stops them. So thank you for supporting us all, and I will see you, if not before, on the 1st of July.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you, lovely. Bye.